Hello everyone. My name is Chris Woods. Um, I'm here breaking down the production of my new single, Right When I Need You the Most, that just came out. Uh, at the time of the recording, it didn't come out yet, but if you're seeing this, it's already out. And so basically, I'm just breaking down the production, the thought process. I won't be going into mixing or anything, because I didn't really mix it. I did a rough mix of it. Um, a friend of mine mixed it for me. Liam Charge, shout out to him. He's mixing the rest of this record as well. And yeah, he also plays guitar on this song, but we'll get into that later. So I guess just jump in right into it. Obviously, the standout thing of the song, the like leading element, is that arpeggio, which this is one of the first songs I made on this software, Reason. This is the first, obviously the first full song I would say, and this whole song is just me messing around with the platform and just kind of seeing what I can do with it. I feel like this album that I have that I'm making um is an experimental, just kind of testing the waters of it. Um I would still consider it to be an album. I would just say there's no vocals on it or anything. It's literally just me playing around with the Reason, which I've kind of switched over to being my preferred DAW. Um, so anyway, we have this arpeggiator which starts off the song, and I just kind of want something abrupt, something to kind of pull in the listener right off the riff. Chord progression is very simple, stays the same throughout the entire song. I actually don't know what key we're in. I don't remember the key of any of my songs. I just had one goal in mind with this song, and that was to do something completely different from my last record, which came out a little less than a year ago. Um, but anyway, yeah, the arpeggiator, you know, I think it's like the main part of the song, the bread and butter. And this is like the building block. It loops throughout this entire opening section. And then we get this, I think bass. No, this is not bass. This is a little texture pad that I found. I like the EDM feel it has. It's kind of out of time with the arpeggiator too. Then we have this bass going. Um, Very 8-bit, very like NES sounding. I really like it. There was something I did at the end with the bass where it's a scrapped version that I could see if I could pull up. But basically in that scrapped version, the bass was doing some cool tricks at the end. I can see if I can play like an early version of the song at the end. Um, I mean, yeah, it kind of just it starts building this entire first half of the song, just building, building, building. And then the third time it goes around, we get this cool little texture pad. I really like layering. I have a soft spot for layering in this record. There's lots of synths that are just textures and nothing more. And then if you asked the friend, Liam who makes this, he had a really fun time with the drums. These are sampled. This is a sampled kick and snare. I don't know where he got it from, but oh my god, he went to town. This is the guitar. He went to town with these drums. It took him like a solid week to figure out these drums. It was kind of funny because the drums I used before were like so MIDI. I was gonna see if I could find it in the rack here, but I can't. Um, yeah, I'm really happy with how this drum sound came out because it was definitely a bitch to try and figure it out. And so I think it's such an airy song, so to have like it's kind of still reverby, but with like a song this airy, it's nice to have a kick and snare, like a solid bass, like a solid foundation down. It's actually reminiscent of another opener. Let's see if I can pull it up. Of mine. Let's see if I can find it. Hold up, I'm gonna cut real quick and then come back when I find it. Alright, I found it. Sorry, that was another recording. It's my first time using OBS, so but it's the opener off my previous record. Just skip forward a little bit. Yeah, it's the same kind of vibe. A really good song. I actually like it. Um, yeah, but it has the same kind of vibe of like this very like atmospheric sound, then kind of being anchored with these reverby drums. And I feel like I have a tendency to do that with the openers a lot because it's kind of like your first impression of the album. I want to kind of get your ear. So if I can do that by diverting your expectations, then I'd say I do a pretty good job. I really like that kick and that snare. And so we get to the fourth time, or yeah, this is the fourth time it comes around. And then we have this. Um, hard panned, hard panned. Just literally as they're labeled textures. Like some more textury stuff. You get this really cool atmosphere if you solo the pad, the textures. Sounds like neat as hell. Kind of like building the hype up as we go throughout the song. And that's what I really wanted to do. I wanted to build, build, build. And then the fifth time we go around, we have these strings. This is hard, right? This label drawing. Yeah, this is my mixer who labeled this. That's funny though, because that kind of caught me off guard. Yeah, there's these strings. It's one of my favorite string lines I think I've ever written. Reason actually has some pretty good um, string sounds. Same with the piano sounds. There's no piano in this song, but I actually like some of their stock sounds. I'm not crazy about the drum sounds. I've never been crazy about MIDI drum sounds. I've become really picky about how my music sounds, which is good. I'm happy about that. Um, but it makes it so I can't listen to any of my old songs like ever basically because I would get too pissed off because it wasn't EQ'd or anything. It was all like just like mid. Um, anyway, we get this. I don't even know what this is. Oh yeah, this is a cool sounding instrument. I low-key forgot about it. And you can hardly hear it in the actual mix too. But once again, it's just texture, and you can hardly hear it. It's adding something. So altogether, you get this like huge like take a sip of water real quick. Hope you didn't hear me drinking. That'd be embarrassing. And just like, I mean, even without the drums, it's like cool. Like, so, and it's like, so like without the drums, it feels like very like Hans Zimmer, like very like orchestrated, way too orchestrated, and sounds way too pretentious to music that I typically make. And so I guess the drums are kind of there to stay true to that, because I think the drums add a charm to it. The second part, I think I take out some of the instruments here because it's starting to like kind of go down a bit, and this acoustic Zaz pad starts doing this cool little interval thing, which once again you can hardly hear it, but textures, and so remove some of that texture because we're starting to go down a bit. Then this is my personal favorite section of the song right here. You know, we have this giant chord. It's like, where are we going? Where are we going? Then we have this ambient section, which I just kind of did it because I really like making ambient music in Reason. There's a lot of ambient songs on the album. And as you can tell by the 20 years of ambient pad, which is kind of like, I would say, our lead. Very trippy, very obviously ambient. Like, you can almost fall asleep to it. Which is like the backbone of this section, because the arpeggiator actually stops here. And then on top of that, you get these two, which are just more texturings. Both of these come from a really good instrument. Or, yeah, I think both of them. Yeah, they come from the Grain Sample Manipulator, which is my best friend basically throughout the entire album. I fucking love this instrument. This is a good instrument. Because, I mean, as it says, it's just a sample thing, so as you can see, the original's in E3. That's the wrong instrument. I don't know if it's gonna want to play. I can hear dogs barking in the background. There we go. So this is the original sample. And then I just kind of brought it down a bit. It's just like so cool that you can even do that. Reason is great when it comes to sampling. One of the songs on the record, I'm not gonna go too deep into it, has a sample of another song that I was really liking at the time. Um, if it's not on the album, that means I didn't feel like getting the sample cleared, which will probably be the case. But I'll still put it out one day. I still want to keep it on the album. It's just, you know, getting samples cleared and stuff was a headache. Um, yeah. So basically, this ambient section. I mean, and we have the pad from earlier coming in, Alan Turing's Dream. Then on top of that, like, you get, it sounds gorgeous, I think. Like, all together. Compared to, like, it's like Whiplash compared to the, Chaos, I would say, of the first section. Then you get, like, this kind of floating through space vibe. Obviously, so it's not too freeform, I put in the Saz pad. It's a little bit at a time, but I still think adds that backbone that the section needs. And there's this low, really low growling bass synth in this part too. It's literally just a droning synth. I should have mentioned you might need headphones to hear this, hear most of the things like the bass and stuff. So, I mean, I would listen to this in a good pair of headphones. But it's literally just this, like, growling synth that, I mean, you can hear it in the original product. Yeah. Just droning, adding textures. Then you're like, well, this is, like, sick. You know, completely different compared to what I was listening to. And then I just kind of bring it back in. The kick and the snare. The art starts coming back in. This part makes me smile. The texture synths come in. The strings come in. It's building, building. Oh, I love the build here, dude. It's, you know, it's so clean. And it keeps building louder and louder. All this while the, like, atmosphere is still going. And then we're back to the start, just like that. And then you can hear the main part of this section, so it's not boring, it's basically the exact same, is that I had my friend solo over this part. I mean, here's it with the solo. Very, Prince. And when I pulled up the rack earlier, very Prince-esque, when I pulled up the rack earlier, I think it was literally called, like, Pink Floyd. Yeah, Pink Floyd guitar tone. If it's, like, very Pink Floyd, very, Prince-esque. A little funny thing is that we were on the phone when he was, like, finishing up mixing this, and he's like, I mean, he was like, yeah, I could add guitar to this if you want. And I'm like, go ahead, and if I like it, I'll keep it on. And I did, in fact, like it. He recorded the solo in his bathroom, which I find hilarious. While I was on the phone with him. And then he mixed it into the song and sent it over to me. Let's bypass it so you can see what the effects do. Just bypass literally everything. So here's it without effects. It does a fade in. Here, I'll get rid of the fade in here so you can hear full solo. Obviously, the, like, very echoes Pink Floyd-esque with, like, the high bending notes. If you have questions about, you know, mic key use and stuff, obviously reach out to him, because he's the one who recorded it. I just like how it sounds. So there's the full thing. It was a first take, you know, one shot. If I like it, I keep it in. If I don't, I don't. And I did like it because I think it adds the realism a whole bunch. But with these effects, you turn them on, and it's like, it sounds fine, right? Like, tone-wise, it sounds great by itself. But, like, you add in all these effects, and it's like a whole different beast. And then you put in the fade in. Then you get that, like, Purple Rain, like, triumphant guitar sound with, like, a little bit of Pink Floyd, a little bit of David Gilmour mixed in. then you add on to the chaos of everything else. And then all of a sudden, there's this like emotion that wasn't really present in the song before. Feels like a victory lap, like getting over a hurdle. And so this last section is just taking instruments out. We could finish out with strings, some more atmospheric stuff. Oh yeah. Such a pretty soundscape. Just kind of like doing the waves. It all falls apart at the end. And you get Hans Zimmer taking you out to the finish line. There you go. There's the full string section. I like the idea. So I'll admittedly say that in the recording on streaming and stuff, the strings are cut out too soon. So what I'm gonna do actually, I'm just gonna make it so it transitions into the next song. But yeah, that's right when I need you the most. That's the song. I guess to wrap it up, I'm gonna cut here and then pull up a the demo I was talking about with like the weird bass and stuff. It's there's not too much different. The earliest version I have is probably just this arpeggiator looping. But anyway, I'll see you in like a few seconds. Okay, I'm back. This is the demo I have pulled up. I don't think anything was properly mixed or anything. No, it was EQ'd and stuff. Not much is different. The drums, yeah. If you want to hear the original drums, hold up. Here's what they sound like. Before we get into the bass stuff, this is the original drums. Just let that play. It has slow pan, which is a choice. Then they become wet. Or not wet, they become dry. Like fully dry. And they don't sound necessarily awful. It's just like you could tell it's MIDI. It doesn't sound electronic enough. And I just don't feel like it adds anything to the recording. But I mean the song is the same. The strings aren't hard panned. Here's the strings. Not like filters or anything. I mean, they basically sound the same. This is the same. I mean, I originally had the Vergon 6 going in the climax of the song too. But it sounded gross because it's like a bunch of sevenths. It's not even sevenths, it's just playing the same chord transposed. So it made the mix sound yucky. But here's the bass I was talking about. Obviously, as you can tell, I put like a shit ton of fucking effects on it. Just absolutely destroying that bass. This is my favorite part right here. It sounds sick. And like in the recording, just in case. It has a cool effect. It sounds way too nasty. I wish I could have kept it in, but at the same time, like I feel like it's a bit too much, you know. The yeah, and the bass fades out here because I didn't know what to do with it. Um, but yeah, that's the song. That was like kind of like I guess a demo version. Not really though, because it was finished. It just didn't have a good mix. But I guess wrapping up here. Um, this is the opener to the album. It's the first song, and I'm not gonna say how much songs there is or when the album's coming out, but it's coming out. They're working on mixing them. I'm really proud with all of the songs. This one has. I knew it was gonna be the lead single. I knew it was gonna be the opener when I made it, because I feel like it does an excellent job at hooking you in. Um, I feel like it summarizes all of the parts of the album perfectly, like the ambient, the the cinematic, the electronic, all in like one song. And I feel like that kind of describes what this album is. It's more of a personal statement, I'd say. It's a personal statement mixed in with like experimentation, I think. And I'm really excited for the full thing to be done, be mixed, and so I can sit down and listen to it at the end of the day. Um, so yeah, wrapping up. Please stream this song. It would mean the world to me. Um, Next single will probably be out in March or April. Um, there's not gonna be too much singles, but just know that the album is gonna be it's gonna be soon, and I'm really looking forward to it. So yeah, I'll see you guys on the flip side. Stream the song, stream the next song, stream the single. I might try and do one like a video for all of the songs off the album. Uh, we'll see how that holds up. Anyway, yeah, I'll see you guys. Peace.